Hey everyone, it's Josh, and this video is going to be another episode of Surviving the Pavement, where I talk about what my life as a homeless man in the streets was really like, and I give people some wisdom and insight into, homeless living and homeless society and the homeless world and all of that. I spent over 10 years in and out of the streets, and so I do know what I'm talking about in this regard. Now, one of the biggest ways that the streets can defeat you is to make you abandon your personal morals and basically straight out sell your soul. Now, a lot of people I want to clear up on make something clear about what selling your soul actually is. A lot of people watch movies, and because of the movies they get the wrong idea about what selling your soul is. People seem to think that to sell your soul you go and get yourself a copy of the book of Satanism, and then you come back home, and then you make a pentagram out of blankets or something in the center of your living room, and you sit in the center of that pentagram, and you conjure up the devil or some evil spirit, and you make some promise to the devil to do something for him as long as he gets you whatever it is that you want out of life at that time. That's what a lot of people really think. As convoluted as that is, that's what a lot of people really think. But that's not what selling your soul is. What selling your soul really is doing something so out of character for you, so against your personal morals and ethics, that it might take you a lifetime to recover mentally from the guilt of having done such a thing. Now, how does this apply to homeless people? I'm going to tell you some of the things I've seen, but I'm not going to get too graphic with it. I've seen a lot of homeless guys desperate for money. Maybe they've had a bad day, bad week, maybe even a bad month panhandling. Nobody would give them anything. I've seen these people go into motel rooms with um, gay men and basically let those gay men do what they want to them in exchange for a couple of $100 so that they could buy themselves a motel room or some drugs or both or whatever. Seen this happen plenty of times. I've got nothing against gay people, so I want to put that out here because I don't want YouTube or anybody else to think that I'm knocking gay people. But think about this. Think about this. Sorry, I'm watching something. I'm cooking something right now. Think about this. You went homeless. You're desperate for money. So you let another man, you bent over for another man and let him go up in you for a measly couple of $100 to buy yourself a motel room for a few days. And you're not even gay. You're not even gay. How do you recover mentally from something like that? I know, speaking for myself, I would have to probably spend a lifetime mentally recovering and rebuilding my self-esteem if I had ever done that even once. But a lot of these guys, once they do it once, it becomes easier to do it again and then again and then again. And this is a big part of how a lot of guys lose themselves in the streets. A lot of these mentally ill people that you see in the streets, some of them start out as mentally ill. Some of them a lot of them do have mental illnesses from birth, and their family just doesn't want to deal with them, so they're in the streets. But a lot of these guys didn't start out mentally ill. they became mentally ill once they hit the streets because in their desperation to survive, they did either one thing or a series of things that are so completely out of their character, completely against their own code of morals and ethics to do, that the guilt ate them up, and now they're just walking around like zombies with no self-esteem. And that's how a lot of these guys get into drinking and deeper into drugs and this and that. And when you see these guys a year or two later, after having done something like that, you're not looking into the eyes of the same person that you first met a couple years ago when that man first went homeless. It's almost like you're looking into the eyes of somebody that's like soulless. Now, being a straight man and allowing gay men to perform sex acts on you is not the only way that you can sell your soul in the streets. There's other ways. But what I'm telling you is that for me, the reason I can sit here with a sense of self-esteem, and the reason that I was able to make it off the streets and have most of my self-respect intact, is because I live by a certain set of morals and ethics. I've got those deeply ingrained in me. And these are the things that these are the things that having a solid set of morals and ethics will carry you through when you're going through something like homelessness, because sometimes it's all you got. If you ain't got no money and you ain't got nothing else, all you've got is your personal morals and ethics and how you conduct yourself. That's it. And you got to be able to look yourself in the mirror when you see a mirror. If you're homeless and all of a sudden you can't even look yourself in the mirror because you're so disgusted with yourself, well, that just adds a ton of misery to the misery that you're already feeling. But me, I'm very strict about following my personal code of morals and ethics. Did I violate them out there? Yes, I did. But, I mean, we all have lapses in the way what we are, that we follow our morals and ethics. We all violate our own morals sometimes. But generally, I violated them in small ways. And the lucky thing for me is that my personal morals and ethics are so ingrained in me that when I do violate them, even in small ways, I feel guilty for a really long time. Like, I'm still mad at myself for like a minor, what most of you consider a minor moral violation from 5-10 years ago. If I told you what it was, you'd be like, oh man, you're still mad at yourself about that? But see, that's how deeply ingrained my personal morals and ethics are within me. And I made sure to instill those within myself. Because I always wanted to be a man of somebody that I consider to be good character. And I can honestly say that through all my time of homelessness and everything else, I have always been a man of good, solid character. So that is something that if I can't take nothing else to my grave with me, I can take that to my grave with me. I never sold my soul out there. I've been tempted to. I would never let somebody perform a gay act on me, but I've been tempted to sell my soul in other ways, which I'll get into in other videos. But I never did it. And you know, most people in society, I hate to say this, but I'm just being honest, most people in society, if they went homeless right now, they would end up becoming one of those super mentally ill people and they would violate their own ethics, and they would be in the same mental situation that a lot of homeless people are. And the reason for that is because most people do not have a truly solid set of morals and ethics that they live by. Most people just, whatever morals and ethics they have, they're just going along with what the people around them tell them that their morals and ethics should be. They never actually took the time to develop their own inner code of right or wrong. They're just going with what their neighbors have told them from years of growing up, or what their church has instilled in them, or whatever. But they've never taken the time to internalize any of that and decide for themselves and look within themselves and decide for themselves what do they really believe in and what do they not believe in as far as what's right and what's wrong. So if they ever hit the streets, they would end up like 90% of the homeless people out there that just ended up doing some of the stuff I just talked about and would probably never mentally recover from that. You know? So, the bottom line of this story, one of the biggest ways to survive life as a homeless person, maybe even the biggest and best way to do it, is to have a solid, internalized set of morals and ethics that you live by, so that you can look yourself in the mirror with some pride whenever you make enough money for a motel room or whatever. Just having those morals and ethics will keep your mind sane. It will keep your mind from wandering and falling into crazy land, like what happens with a lot of homeless people. And I thank God that I am somebody that's always looking inside myself and am trying to figure out what my personal code of ethics is. And because of that, I made it through homelessness with my self-respect intact. So that's my story for today. One of the biggest and best ways you can survive being homeless is to have a set of morals and ethics and to follow those. You will break those. You will break your ethics. But if you have them internalized, you generally won't break them in a major way, and you'll generally check yourself. When you do break them, you'll feel some guilt, and that'll let you know, hey, I shouldn't have been doing this. That's probably the main thing that kept me alive and sane out there in the streets. That's all for today.